Hi, this is Delphi, and in this video I'm going to talk about a not knowing plan and how we might use something called the R.A.I.N acronym to manage a period of uncertainty. If there's one certainty in life, it's that life is uncertain. But it makes sense if when we're going through a period of uncertainty that we start to feel anxious about what might happen next. It's for this reason I encourage people to create what I call a not knowing plan for those times when you're left in that period of limbo and don't know what's going to happen next. One of the problems is when we're in that period of not knowing, we might try and force the outcome or push people into making a decision that they're just not ready to make. So let's say, for example, you're waiting to hear from a first date, or perhaps you've applied for a job and you're waiting to hear whether or not you've got an interview, and you're left in this period of limbo of not knowing, and it's about what you do next that's going to make a difference to your well-being. With this in mind, we could look at the R.A.I.N acronym. This is a technique that's been popularised by meditation teacher Tara Brach, but has been adapted over time to suit different circumstances. Let me talk you through the way I teach it in case it's helpful for you. The R in the R.A.I.N acronym can stand for recognise. This is about knowing your early warning signs and how you might start to recognise that you're feeling agitated. Awareness is the first step to change, so if you know that you're not okay, you're in a better position to do something about it. The A in the R.A.I.N acronym can stand for a few things: acknowledge, allow, and accept. What this is about is once you've recognised that you're feeling something, you've started to notice your early warning signs that you're not okay, you can then allow that emotion to exist for a moment. You're essentially acknowledging that you're feeling something. Whether we accept or not that we're feeling an emotion, it's there anyway. So this gives us permission to feel what we're feeling, to acknowledge and allow and accept that perhaps that agitation, that anxiety is there, so that we're then in a position to do something more helpful with it and channel it in a way that's going to be useful for us. The I stands for investigate, and there's two ways that you can approach this. It could be that you investigate where that emotion is stored in your body. Let's say, for example, you're feeling anxious, you might notice that your belly feels unsettled, or you might notice that your hands are sweaty. These are ways that you can investigate how these feelings are showing up in your body, again, so that you can get ahead of whatever it is you're feeling and how you might normally respond to it. It can allow us to take a step back and gain perspective before acting in a reactive way to whatever it is that's going on. So one way might be that we investigate where the emotion is showing up in our body, but another might be that you actually investigate where that feeling is coming from. So sometimes with our emotions, there's something else resting underneath awareness. For example, if you're starting to feel anger, anger is often a secondary emotion. In other words, there's something underneath the anger that's pushing it forward. So in the case of not knowing what's going to happen next, if you start to feel anger, it might be because you're frightened. If you really need this job, it might be that you're frightened that you don't get it and be fearful about what might happen next. The N in the R.A.I.N acronym is my favourite because it can stand for nurture or nourish. This is very much for me about restorative acts of self-care. We know that when we're going through a difficult time, self-care can be something that goes out of the window. I have a video on my YouTube channel called Self-Care for Bad Days, and I talk about a self-care check-in in my book Answers in the Dark. With this in mind, when we're navigating a period of difficulty, we might decide to engage in restorative acts of self-care, especially if we know that our behaviours otherwise might not be so helpful or healthy for us. So it might be that we pick up the phone and talk to a friend. Remember, self-care doesn't have to be achieved in isolation. Or it might be that you decide to go for a walk. We know that movement is particularly useful for us when we're feeling agitated. So in this context, we're thinking about nurture and nourishing our body and mind so that we engage in behaviours that are more healthy for us and that serve our well-being. So, the RAIN acronym is just one way of looking after ourselves when we're going through a period of uncertainty. It might be that you create some goals for things that you'll do while you're in that period of waiting, or it might be that you distract yourself with a hobby that you know helps you stay calm and relaxed. The purpose of a not knowing plan really is to have something to do when you don't know what to do, especially if you know you tend to engage in behaviours that perhaps don't work for you so well in the longer term. The idea really is to take care of yourself and to look after your health and well-being.